Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. For today's card project, I'm going to be making a sympathy card, and I'm going to be using many of the new products from Pixie Dust Designs release. So I've got the vintage lace dies, and I used this one on the card, and then the fancy butterflies, and I made cards with these last week, and I have a video on it. And on this card that I made, I used this design. Last time I used this one. So very excited about that. And then I used the With Sympathy for my sentiment, and then the Flourish background. So lots of fun new products. Let's get started. So first I cut out the Flourish background out of Misty Blue cardstock from Cut Cardstock, and I also cut a A2 panel 4¼ by 5½ out of that same cardstock. So we're doing tone on tone again, and I'm just kind of putting glue all over the little places on the background to adhere it to our card panel. Just in love with this background. There's a couple of backgrounds that came out. I actually went and ordered with my own money some of it because I just love the backgrounds that came out and the florals that came out this time. So I was happy to spend my money on those products. So just gluing down the little edges. I could have gone outside and did spray adhesive, but I didn't. I don't know why, but I didn't. So it does take a quick second to get all the little edges adhered down so the panel looks smooth. Honestly, it took me twice as long to do it this way. I really should have gone outside and just sprayed some adhesive on it. But then you can't video that, so almost done. So now we've got our card panel base. So you've got, even though it's tone on tone, you've got some texture and you've got depth and you've got dimension. You could add a little more by doing ink blending around the edges, but I didn't want to do it on this one with the Sympathy card. And this is the hardest part of the card, was just getting everything glued down. And apparently lined up as well. So just doing a little trimming. Okay, so now this is from the vintage lace, part of the new release. And so I cut 2 of those out of white, and I'm using those to highlight the sentiment. So I'm going to glue them together, but doesn't it look like bunting from 4th of July? I just love it. And that is an excellent card trim, but it's also a fun, like you could line up the layers and do an ombre effect with these two. So lining everything up, and then our sentiment will go on top of that. So this is another quick and easy card, but it looks like you fussed because the dies are so fantastic. So now I've got the With Sympathy, and I'm using all the shadows and the lettering on this. So I went with a dark blue, I believe it's called Amazon from Cut Cardstock, and then the lighter blue is called Snow Cone, and then we have white with the letters on it. And the font on this is fantastic. So the With is one word, and then you get the S on its own, so it's easier to line up. Getting that all pressed down, and then you get the rest, or not the rest, and the next 3 or 4 letters of Sympathy, so to the P, and then you'll get the rest of it. So it's really easy to line up, really easy to glue down, and it looks beautiful together. So you saw how easy that was. So now I cut the base of the butterfly out of Snow Cone. The outline of the butterfly is out of Amazon. And I'm just gluing everything together. So you see how quick and easy that is to put together. So again, the dies are doing all the work for us. I'm not doing anything hard here, just cutting and gluing. So now I'm going to glue down the sentiment, just kind of lining everything up the way I like it. And then the butterfly will go just above it. I just wanted to double check before I adhered it. You know, because sometimes you see it in your head and then you do it and it's like, oh, that's not looking like I thought it would. So I just had to double check before I glued it down. So there's the butterfly. And the butterfly does have a body, and I do glue that on later. I don't know why I didn't do it right then. And now the sentiment is going to go down. And then the finishing touch for this, I'm just going to add some Hero Arts pearls, and they're light blue. They're the same color as the snow cone cardstock. So we're just going to glue that down, give it a second to dry. So now I'm adding it to my card panel, and my glue is acting up, and you can see the pearls there. So they're a really pretty blue, a little softer, just right for a sympathy card. And unfortunately, I had to use it right away, but that's okay. It's part of life. So I used mostly the little ones, the little pearls, but I did add a few larger pearls. Now that I've got all the magnets on there to hold it on. So now we're going to break in and get the pearls out. And this took longer than I thought it would, mainly because the way Hero Arts has their pearls, I was having to cut them apart, and then the adhesive is on a strip, and I wanted to trim the strip so no one could see the strip. I should have just peeled the pearls off the adhesive and glued them. That probably would have been faster in hindsight, but see, look how pretty those blue pearls are. They're beautiful. I ordered more. I just loved them. Oh, found one more edge I need to glue down. So then the rest of this is just me putting pearls wherever I feel like it. Not a lot of explanation needed. And I'm getting the pearls in the floral centers. There's a lot of tiny florals and then some larger florals on the die cut. So I'm just putting it in the floral centers, the larger floral centers. So I'm speeding it way up so you don't have to suffer through me figuring out where to put all the pearls. I just wanted to make sure you could see I was putting them in the floral centers, so it made a little sense. And now I'm adding them where the fans of the lace join, again to highlight the sentiment. And then I'll just add one more big one up there and we'll call it a day. So now I'm adding the body of the butterfly. I finally realized I didn't do it. Getting everything aligned and glued, and that should finish it up. Okay, so here's the card we made together. It's kind of a tone-on-tone, muted tones because it's a sympathy. So really happy with how this turned out. And again, I used the Pixie Dust Designs Flourish background, and we did tone-on-tone, so there's a little bit of dimension, but it doesn't, the background adds to it, but it doesn't stand out. I used the Classic Sentiments, the With Sympathy Classic Sentiments. I used the Fancy Butterflies, this butterfly from that set, and then I used this lace from the Vintage Lace. And then another card I made using the Vintage Lace. I did kind of a patriotic, this is navy, it's showing up a little dark. So we've got some red, white, and blue, and I used the Strawberry Lemonade stamp or die set from last year that's still available, and I cut the handle off and I made it so that it's like a mason jar with strawberry lemonade in it. So I thought that was really cute. And then I had a couple of cards that I showed in my last video, and I'll show them again. This is just the Flourish background using the congratulations sentiment. And then here is the Miss You, and that's another kind of tone-on-tone card. And then the Thinking of You that I made using the butterfly set and the sentiments. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.